Gingerbread Man Down, Clean Up on Aisle podcast.
Welcome back to Clean Up on Aisle podcast, the dirty truth about grocery stores. I'm your co-host, Jef Harmatz, joined as always by my co-host, Adam Fligsten. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
I am wonderful. We are having a nice time. About to talk grocery stores with our very special guest today, Maggie Downs. Hello, Maggie.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, Maggie, you're joining us in person at the radio station studio where we're sneaking in to record the podcast right now.
Yes, the glamorous Joshua Tree radio station.
Yes, but I've known you for a long time. You are a recent resident of the Morongo Basin where I live.
Yes.
Been a long-time desert dweller. But before we get into all of that, you are a writer, a novelist, a journalist. Am I leaving anything out?
I'm a journalist, an author, I guess that's it.
Okay.
I write
Okay.
a lot.
I know that your big book is not a novel, so perhaps it was unfair for me to say novel, but you've written a few books.
You know what? I'm working on a novel right now.
Okay.
So I'm a wannabe novelist.
All right. Novelist works. We'll keep it in there. So you've written a lot, very extensively about like travel.
Mm-hmm.
And something I always am curious about, you've climbed some big mountains, right? Am I remembering that correct?
I have.
Name the mountains, please.
Okay, so I love hiking. A couple years ago, I did Mount Kilimanjaro, and more recently, I did Acatenango, which is a volcano in Guatemala.
Mm.
I'm planning to do the Everest Base Camp trek. I'm leaving this week to do a through hike in Big Bear. And then later this summer, I'm doing the Lost Coast in California. Are you familiar with it?
I am not familiar. I'm not much of a hiker.
Okay. So the Lost Coast is the longest stretch of undeveloped coastline in California. And it's pretty much inaccessible by car. So you have to hike in and carry your tent and all your food and all of that.
Where is it? Where do you start and where do you end?
It's in Northern California. It's mostly in Humboldt County.
How many miles is it?
We'll be doing about 30 miles. I'm doing it with my husband and son.
All right. Awesome.
How long does that take, roughly?
We are aiming for 4 days. I've heard that you can do it quicker, but I'm not entirely sure how quick my 10-year-old will be hiking in those conditions. So we wanted to take our time.
And what is a through hike?
So a through hike, that's a great question. A through hike is anything with an overnight. So like the Appalachian Trail would be a through hike. I've done the Trans-Catalina Trail, which is about 28 miles around Catalina Island. I guess, Kilimanjaro would be a through hike because that took multiple days.
And I assume there's not like a lot of grocery stores on Mount Kilimanjaro?
No, but you know what? I started to hallucinate as I was, I was so sleep deprived and the altitude was getting to me. I started to hallucinate when I was getting close to the summit. And I kept thinking like, man, I can't wait to get to that gift shop at the top and get a hot cocoa. And there's no gift shop at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, I'm sad to say.
No hot cocoa either?
No,
or did you?
No, I was very sad.
Just very quickly on Kilimanjaro, I did a very stupid comic for a very bad newspaper many, many years ago. There was a guy wearing a t-shirt and it said, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and all I got was this stupid Kiliman t-shirt, which I don't know if that's funny or not, but it amused me at the time. So,
I think it's funny.
when you're preparing for such a massive hike, I mean, Kilimanjaro is obviously a bit more serious than the Catalina one or the Lost Coast Trail. Yeah. I assume you're not just going into like a Ralph's and getting like supplies for the trek. Do you have to go to like specialty stores to stock up for provisions?
So I did stock up on specialty things. I went to like REI and I had special, dehydrated things and I don't know, things that were called like energy beans and whatnot. And then it turned out most people that I met had like Snickers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the other thing is that after a certain altitude, your food just freezes. So I was eating a lot of like really cold, hard granola bars.
So would you like I mean, I guess a Snickers, that's the kind of thing that people do put into the freezer. So maybe they had the experience in saying like, oh, I do want that sweet treats that won't taste too bad if it's been like frozen. If it's raw.
Yeah. And I think, also you want just a lot of dense calories. I've read about this ultra marathoner. There's a guy that I follow. And in his newsletter, he talks about how he makes sandwiches out of 2 Pop-Tarts and peanut butter in between, because he just needs like calories. I am not at that point of hiking or working out, but
how are the energy beans?
So the energy beans were kind of like fancy, I don't know, gummy bears or like fruit chews
With caffeine in them, or were they just calories?
They were just calories. Yeah, I could have just purchased like those Welch's fruit snacks, and it would have been a lot cheaper and basically the same thing.
When you say energy beans, my mind unfortunately went to the idea of it's like a can of cannellini beans, but the liquid has been replaced by Red Bull.
Right.
So it's just like, you scoop
like
them
actual beans, but like
in Red Bull.
Yeah.
I would try that, I think.
I would too.
I mean, I would have a scoop of it, yeah.
You know what? I'm in a bean club.
Mm-hmm.
So every 4 months I receive a shipment of 6 pounds of heirloom beans.
Wow.
So I might have to recommend that to the bean group.
What's the top bean you've gotten from this mail order situation?
So every December they send out the next year's lucky black-eyed peas. So I really love making the black-eyed peas for that year.
For New Year's, right?
Yeah, the New Year's beans.
Mm-hmm.
And I've not had black-eyed peas that much in my life.
Right.
So if you're trying to tell me why these black-eyed peas are so much better than other black-eyed peas you've had, what is the difference? What are you finding?
So these black-eyed peas hold their shape. There's not a lot of breakage. They don't get mushy, unless you want them to be. I've made them into like patties before. I think they have a superior texture and taste.
I've also been in a bean club before with heirloom beans, so I can second that. They are much better. It's like
Are we in the same bean club?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there's tons of them, but it's probably the same one. I don't remember.
You can say the name of the bean club.
What do you remember it? I don't remember it.
I'm in the Rancho Gordo Bean Club.
Yes, that is the same. Yes.
The members refer to themselves as the Leguminati.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So it's nice to meet a fellow member of the Leguminati.
That's right. They are much better. It's like an heirloom tomato or whatever. It's like it just tastes better. You can tell that it's not mass produced in the same way as something you get at the supermarket.
I've got to ask you, Adam, now. Here's the big, I hope this is not too challenging of a question, but why are you no longer in the Bean Club?
I was going to ask that too.
It was a gift. It was a year subscription gift that ended about 6 months ago, give or take. So I am definitely, I'm down to re-up on my own. But yeah, right now I'm not.
I know that you're planning on moving soon. I hope it's okay to say on the show, but Adam's considering a move to our community here in the high desert.
Excellent.
But you don't want to have to load up the moving van with 30 pounds of heirloom beans, probably.
Yeah, or log on to the Rancho Gordo and do a change of address kind of a thing. That just seems like kind of a pain.
The other thing is that there's a waiting list. I had to wait almost 2 years to become a Bean Club member. So
I didn't realize that maybe I'll have to wait. Yeah.
You might try to start now.
Yeah.
We gotta get on that waiting list. There's the Bean Club is very exclusive. There's a big bouncer with the velvet rope standing outside of it, and he's making sure that you're beanie enough to enter the bean joint. So
those are good beans, though.
They really are.
In your travels, I know we were kind of joking about the grocery stores atop Mount Kilimanjaro or whatever, but are you going when you're traveling? Are you popping into a grocery store to see what's up? Are you taking a look?
That's actually one of my favorite things to do when I travel is go into the grocery store because I think it reveals so much about a community and what they value, what they, what nurtures them, what sustains them, what they find important. And I think the food habits of other people are so interesting.
Mm-hmm. We're going to get into your food habits for sure.
Okay.
Well, first, one more thing, just talking about your work and trying to find an in with grocery stores with your work. I don't know if this is a series you're still writing, but I know for a while you were doing a series of articles about scents.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be the topic of my next book.
Really?
So I am actively researching things about scent. I'm obsessed with it. I can geek out about that all day.
The one that really, as a Southern California boy, the one that I was pretty interested in, you did Disneyland. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the scents of Disneyland?
Yeah. So Disney is interesting because they have a patent on a machine called the Smellitzer. And the Smellitzer is what pumps different aromas into different parts of the park. So, and the intention is to evoke a certain feeling for you or to make a connection with your memory. So like when you walk down Main Street, the Smellitzer pumps in like the scent of candy or like popcorn, that type of thing that fills you with like nostalgia, the feel-good sense of like your grandmother's kitchen or a candy store, like that old-timey thing.
Is it mostly food stuff over there at Disney?
A lot of it, although every Disney resort has their own signature scent. And scent is so tied to memory. What they're really doing is just trying to create a connection with people so that the instant you walk into the same Disney resort, like you just feel good. You feel like you're home. So the next time you go on vacation and walk back into that resort, you're like, oh, this place feels good to me. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And they have those smells all over the park, which is really interesting. And the other interesting thing about Disney or any Disney park is that Walt Disney created the garbage can that has like a swinging door on it.
Really?
He invented that because he knew that it's not just the smells that are within the park, but it's also keeping bad smells out. So he wanted to create like a trash receptacle where you could contain the smell, but also make it easy for people to throw items away.
Was that the first lidded trash can? Because like there's a bunch of lids you could put on top
so
of
there were lids on trash cans before, but that's the first one that had like the swinging door, where you push it through and it closes behind you.
Right. He was the original Imagineer.
I know. It's really crazy. Like there are so many manufactured scents around us that people don't realize.
So the big one is always when you walk by McDonald's or like, I don't know, it's just some sort of Auntie Anne's or some sort of fast food place that you like immediately. And everybody says they purposefully sort of pump the scents out so that people will, is that true or is that not?
That is true in many cases. And also coffee shops like that have a coffee smell that they pump into the air around them so that it makes you want coffee.
And when you say pumping, like is it a chemical compound that they're pumping out or?
Yeah, it's like a diffuser of sometimes it's essential oils. Sometimes it's like a hydrosol, like a vapor. So there can be different things.
Mm.
Yeah.
Aside from being born with a nose, how did you get into scents?
I started realizing that it was an overlooked sense when it comes to travel, and then around that time, I realized like I wanted to read more about the smells of different places. Around that same time, I read an essay by a blind travel writer, and he was writing about the experience of being on a safari and how he could smell the animals before they approached. And it was so evocative. And I thought, you know what, like that lens on the world, we don't often experience the world through our noses first, but it really reveals so much about a place. And through that, then I met this graphic designer who maps cities based on their odors. And that's so interesting because it tells you about like transportation in that place or industry, what people eat, the botanicals that grow there. And I just thought, this is such a revealing look at a place, and we never talk about the smells of different locations.
So we talked about this a little bit with our rotisserie chicken episode, but the smell of a grocery store, I don't personally have much fond feelings or memories or associations with the smell of grocery stores, but I'm curious. Maybe I'm missing something.
I feel like the primary smell of many grocery stores, to me, it's usually some type of cleaning fluid. Like the smell of like the mopped floors or the sanitizer or just anything that they're using to wipe down the different aisles. That stands out to me more than any like actual food smells.
Yeah, which is weird if you think about it, right?
It is weird.
Is that by design, do we think, or is that just like they got people out there sweeping those dang floors and mopping and wiping everything down?
I don't think it's by design because they want you to buy things. So I mean, it would be smart to have like the candy aisle smell like vanilla or taffy or something so that it would inspire you to buy. But I think it's just another example of like the built environment overtaking the organic smells of things. Like you can't smell the produce section really anymore because you're getting the smell of like a mopped floor.
Mm-hmm.
So they should stop mopping.
No. I think maybe a better sensory experience would be like a farmer's market where you could actually smell the produce.
There was oh wow, I'm having kind of a jogging my memory a little bit. It was not a farmer's market, it was a standalone like independent grocery store. My mom used to take me to in I think Los Alamitos, which is the town next over from Long Beach where I grew up. I think it was called Plowboys. And they had it was like sawdust on the floor of the place. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you start talking about like visceral grocery store memories, I remember the smell of sawdust. Like that was really powerful. And it did kind of remind me of, something a bit more rustic, something a bit more wholesome than, a freshly mopped Mega Mart,
Right. Yeah. That's true because when I was little, my dad had a heart attack and my family briefly had a period of like going to the health food store to get like wheat germ for him to put on his cereal. Or we would buy carob. Like that was a thing in the 80s. And the health food store always smelled different than like Kroger.
It's not wheat germ, or is wheat germ wheatgrass, but like having those little like patches of the grass in the store where they're about to throw them in the blender and juice it all for you.
Yeah.
That's a nice little aroma.
That is.
Yeah. More of that, please.
I'm reading about Plowboys right now. R.I.P.
Okay. Was it a chain or was it a one-off? I guess
it looked like a small chain in the Southern California area, but maybe no more than a handful of 11 roughly.
All right. Well, I have to talk about that on a future episode.
Yeah. Did Whole Foods buy them?
It seems like they just closed out.
Okay.
But maybe because they just were not competing. But people seem to love them on the internet.
I didn't like going when I was a kid. The sawdust really annoyed me. I was a bit of a clean freak as a boy, so felt dirty to me. So, talking about your childhood and childhood grocery store shopping, where did you grow up, Maggie?
I grew up just outside of Dayton, Ohio.
All right. And what were the grocery stores like when you were growing up? What do you remember about them?
So my dad was in the Air Force. So we went to the commissary on the Air Force base. That was primarily where we shopped. And the commissary was great, though, because so many of the military families were pretty international. And so they had like a more robust selection of items than you would find at the traditional like mega mart, like you were saying. We did occasionally go to other stores, but the commissary was so much more affordable for us. I just remember thinking like someday I'm going to have to join the military just so that I can keep shopping at this store. And I did not join the military. Now I just shop at regular stores.
So a friend of mine has worked at a military commissaries pretty much as a whole adult life. And I've never really been able to understand what it is. So like how big, and I'm sure they're all a little bit different or whatever, but the one that you went to, how big was it? How much, what else could it compare to? So I could get a picture.
Yeah. So our Air Force Base was pretty large. So we had a larger commissary than many other bases. And I know this because whenever we would travel and take road trips, we would stay on different bases. Like my dad would put us like in military housing because it was cheaper than the Motel 6 or whatever. So our road trips were like from Air Force Base to Air Force Base. So I've seen a lot of commissaries, and they all felt a little like, the smaller ones feel a little sad. But the one that I went to, it was spacious. I'd say it's about the same size as, like a Vons or a Kroger or a Publix, like any major grocery chain. The biggest difference, especially in the 1980s when I was growing up, was that you could find tofu there. You could find like German items. My mom was from Germany, so we could find like European items. You could find kimchi. So all sorts of like different international foods that you wouldn't have found elsewhere.
Fish sauce was the first thing I thought of. I bet you got fish sauce a lot more than a lot of other people in the Midwest.
Right. Yeah. I mean, not my family. My parents really liked very bland food. In fact, my dad, he like pepper, like black pepper was just too much for his palate. So, but at my friends' houses, yes.
Was that your mom was German, right?
Yes.
I know some German people who are sending the food back if there's pepper on it, saying that's too spicy. So,
yeah.
I don't know if that's a cultural German thing or whatever, but that's a lot. That's a very, very sensitive palate.
Yes. So. And it was always difficult once I was an adult and like my father would come visit me. It was really difficult to cook for him because he really only wanted bland food. And that's not what I like to eat. So
I had a British friend who visited LA, and we took him to a Mexican restaurant. Just kind of, that's what you do in Southern California. And so the table salsa, very regular salsa that we've all had 100 times. He would dip his thing in and then pull it out, so it just sort of got the wetness of it. And then he would eat the tortilla chip, and then he would just start shoveling sour cream in his mouth to like put out the burn, basically. So it was eye-opening.
I was just on a press trip in Dubai, and one of the other journalists who was on the trip, we ordered lunch together, and she ordered nachos. And instead of salsa, it came with a side of marinara sauce.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And we tried to communicate that to the server. And the server was like, no, this is spicy. And we were like, no, this is... Sorry, this won't work.
What smells do they pump in around Dubai to make people feel homey?
You know what? Dubai is such a bizarre place. It's one of the most bizarre places I've ever traveled, and I'm still trying to unpack all of my feelings about it. But they call it the city of the future. And
Dippin' dots are everywhere.
The what?
Dippin' Dots?
Oh, yeah. It's very futuristic, like Dippin' Dots. But the weird thing is, they didn't even have stoplights or electricity until about 1960. So Dubai was it's a very young city. I was staying at these different resorts, like these very posh, very luxurious resorts that all have a signature scent. And at night, they would bring little gifts at like for the turn down service. So they would bring like lotion with melatonin in it, and it had like a specific smell, and these were very luxurious scents. Like I took all of that and brought it home. It smelled very luscious in Dubai.
Were you there for a scent piece, or was that just a bonus that will just feed into this?
No, that was just a bonus. It was a hotel that sponsored my trip and brought me out so I could experience the hotel in the hopes that I will write about it.
Mm-hmm. My partner is a journalist, and we have been on a few press trips. Nothing as extravagant as Dubai.
Yeah, it was wild. While I was there, I received a rare tour of the world's most expensive hotel suite, which is $100,000 a night with a 2-night minimum.
Okay. Wow. Was it worth it?
I mean, at that point, like, it's just like Monopoly money, you know, it doesn't even make sense. You say $100,000 a night, and I don't even know what that means.
Were there like zoo animals there?
No. It's, it was very beautiful. It was very elegant, very luxurious, but it didn't seem ostentatious. It wasn't like gold toilets or anything like that. It was very beautiful. Probably like the most extravagant thing is that it had its own elevator. It had 2 infinity pools.
Not just one, but 2.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go to the good infinity pool today, kids. Yes.
And this tour that they gave me was rare because that room is typically booked out like for a year solid. Like it's booked out every night, which makes me wonder who is staying there.
Yeah, I guess if you want to like impress a date, come back to my place. I booked the most expensive hotel room in the planet, actually.
The funniest thing is that on the bookshelf, they had a bunch of books with like one-word titles, and it was all like luxury things. So there was a book called Gold, and then there was a book called Yachts.
How did it smell in the room?
It smelled great. Okay. Nothing but good things to say about the scent of the world's most expensive hotel room.
Did you have a chance to go to any grocery stores while you were in Dubai?
No, you know what? It was that trip was difficult because I really stayed on property to really get to know the hotel. When I did venture out, I ventured out at like 4:00 in the morning.
Okay, wow.
Dubai is very safe. There's virtually no crime other than charging people $100,000 a night for a hotel room. And it's like a 24-hour city. So, they have a mall where you can go skiing, and that's open. Like that mall is open basically all night. The beaches have lifeguards 24 hours a day.
Wow.
And they have big lights, so you can go to the beach anytime. So I would go out to the mall and I would see like workers starting their day. And I felt like that was a really interesting and unique perspective of Dubai, was seeing it like as it was waking up.
You've been there. I have not. But my impression as an outsider, especially when it comes to grocery stores, is it doesn't seem like a place that would have a grocery store. Like they want you to get everything from a restaurant or from the hotel, right?
And I didn't see a grocery store when I was there. I did go to the markets and I found like a little, it's not called a bodega, but I saw like a bodega and I walked in there. But I didn't really see any markets, like any grocery store type places.
Just like Louis Vuitton and suitcase stores and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that a fancy brand of suitcases these days? I don't know.
I will say in the world's most expensive hotel room, they have a Louis Vuitton ping pong table.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did it have the little logo like just plastered along the whole thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seems very distracting when you're trying to hit the ball, right?
Yeah. One day in the hotel lobby, I saw a man walk by with like this little bear and a stuffed bear, not a real bear, I should clarify, but who knows?
Not
Dubai,
like a UN cycle or anything.
Yeah. A little stuffed bear. And I thought, oh, that's cute. Maybe that's something that I can bring home for my child. And the bear was in a box and it had like the name on the side. So I Googled it on my phone and it was like a $2,000 Rolex bear.
So moving back to grocery stores.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I love these diversions. It's absolutely fabulous. We're very curious to know. But we always like to find out from our guests, how do you shop these days? How do you grocery shop? Are you going several times a week? Do you go at night, morning, in the middle at 4 a.m. and watch them set it up?
So I go to Costco about once a month and I stock up on a lot of things. I feel like the pandemic made me a little bit more of like I don't want to say a hoarder, but more of like a food prepper where I just feel safer when I have like 20 pounds of flour or a certain number of cans of things,
Or scheduled delivery of heirloom beans in the mail.
So I have that. And then I started growing some of my own food. I'm not that great at growing food, so I can't say that has affected my grocery shopping much yet. I go to Trader Joe's every. I could do it probably once a month, but my husband really is hooked on some Trader Joe's snacks, so we go probably every other week.
Can you say what the snacks are? We don't want to out your husband and his tastes here.
Yeah. So my husband this sounds weird. He's allergic to American wheat, but he can eat wheat from European countries. So there is a Belgian waffle at Trader Joe's that he can eat because it's actually from Belgium. And we get some like baguettes and things like that from Trader Joe's. Yeah. And then I used to go to the Aldi in the high desert once a week, but then they rearranged the layout and now it's a bad Aldi. So I know.
Please, can you elaborate on
this?
Yes. Where we live in the high desert, in the Morongo Basin, we've got our first Aldi. I think it's been there for 2 years now, maybe less. And I don't quite get it.
Okay. So it used to be a good Aldi. And I like Aldi because, as I said, my mom was from Germany. They carry a lot of German brands, like German origin snacks and things like that. And Aldi was always like the stock-up store, I liked the Aldi up here because it had a good layout. It felt very spacious. I knew where everything was. And then I don't know if it's like my age, like you hit a certain age and when they rearrange the grocery store, it ruins your life. But that's kind of how I feel. They rearrange things and it doesn't feel good anymore. There are no good vibes.
You're more inclined to start shopping in a different grocery store than figure out the new layout of the grocery store that you already go to. Got it. Love it. Fantastic.
I feel very strongly about this. Actually, I haven't really been back to Aldi since I realized they rearranged it.
Oh my God.
I've only been to Aldi a handful of times, and anytime I go in there, it feels uncomfortable. Like the moment, and maybe again, if I got comfortable, if I learned the flow of things, but it just feels uninviting and sort of it's almost like they're trying to do Costco, but Costco does it in a way that is comfortable for me, and Aldi, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like the one that I go to used to have a layout that invited comfort. I did get it. And then I would go to other Aldis and I would feel that discomfort. Like, oh, this is cluttered. This feels dirty. This does, like that type of thing. And since the redesign or the different layout, I can't get into this Aldi anymore.
It's feng shui. The chi is getting all scattered all over the place.
Maybe it's a ruined scent, perhaps. Yes.
Maybe.
They moved the thing that you like to walk in and get the whiff of, and
I know.
Now it's on the other side of the store.
If only they would just pump in some bratwurst smell.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yes. They moved the bratwurst to the far side of the store.
Yes.
Does IKEA food have a smell? Have a sausage smell or anything like that?
Oh, that's interesting. I do like the IKEA cafeteria.
Me too. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't really remember a smell, but I do. It's clean and inviting, and I always enjoy it, and reasonably priced as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you're not shopping at Aldi,
yes,
are you shopping? Have you chosen one of the High Desert's many other fine grocery stores to shop at, or are you?
So I've started doing more at the farmers markets to supplement my Costco and Trader Joe purchases rather than go to a different grocery store.
Got it. The Joshua Tree Farmers Market?
I love the Joshua Tree Farmers Market. They recently opened one in Yucca Valley too. But I really like Farmer in the Dale, the little farm stand.
We should say what this is. And I actually haven't been there. My partner's been there. But when you come up to our area, you go through Morongo Valley, and it's on the side of the highway, and it's kind of set up. It's a little hipster. I hope that's okay to say, but it's a fruit and vegetable stand on the side of the road.
It is, yeah, and they have beautiful produce, and I'd say like that's really inviting. When I'm driving by and I see a rainbow assortment of produce, I'm going to stop.
No, I hope it's we're gonna get a little personal. I hope this is okay. Stop me if we go too far or whatever.
Oh no. Okay.
Well, I know that you used to live in Palm Springs.
Right.
And you recently moved to our area, the High Desert. And the Joshua Tree area, the High Desert, is vastly different from Palm Springs when it comes to what stores are where, what options you have available to you. Palm Springs is kind of is it a cosmopolitan city? I don't know if it's a metropolitan city.
No, it's not a metropolitan city. But it's a resort city, which I think is unusual. Like any resort city has its, I don't know, it's very beautiful. People go there for a reason, but there's also kind of like a seedy underbelly, So,
but how do the grocery stores compare? It's been a bit of a change over the last few years. From the low desert fancy, I love Jensen's, I love Gelson's.
I love Jensen's and Bristol Farms. I really love Bristol Farms. I would make the trek out to Palm Desert to go there. I'm definitely saving money going to the grocery stores in the High Desert rather than some of the posh grocery stores in the low desert. It has been an adjustment. And in fact, when I moved up to the High Desert, I had a friend say, "Do you even have grocery stores up there?" It's like, no, we starve.
Yeah, we put it on a camel and you bring it up. Yeah,
it's like being on Mount Kilimanjaro
right
here. You got to bring your protein beans,
right, and energy beans. Yeah, we can only get those at Walmart.
But the topic we are talking about today, let's if we're ready to dive into the topic.
I am.
And this is interesting to me because I was racking my brain. So when I mentioned it to Adam, he said, "Are there any grocery stores aside from Whole Foods that have salad bars?"
Oh.
And I said, we're going to find out, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we did find out. But when I was thinking of like grocery stores in this area, in the High Desert of the Joshua Tree area, I don't think we have any grocery store salad bars in the High Desert.
So do you know if we used to? Because I feel like the salad bar was already on its way out. And then the pandemic was like the final.
I actually have an article here from Supermarket News in 2018. So 2 years before the pandemic, where they say grocery stores are abandoning the salad bar for more grab and go options. So I do think it was maybe fading out,
right?
But I don't know if it's entirely gone.
We talked about what grocery stores had a salad bar, and maybe there's more in the rough, west, near LAX area where I happen to be right now. But there were two in driving distance, and they were Gelson's and Whole Foods. So I went to both of them, and first I went to Gelson's, and to their credit, it was near the end of the day, and I think it was near the time that they would maybe close out the salad bar. So it is possible that at a different time of day, I could have had a different experience. But this was not a good salad bar. It looked like, I mean, I honestly, I went to the famous Sizzler in Koreatown. Have you ever seen that Anthony Bourdain episode? Mm-hmm. So I went to that Sizzler not that long ago, and that salad bar was 100 times better than Gelson's. Gelson, it looked like, it looked like, I don't know what I remember from like the worst school or something like that. Like they just opened up the cheapest lettuce they could find and like beans with water on them, and nothing was fresh, and the price was exactly the same per pound as Whole Foods, which I went to afterwards. And I'm sorry, I'm not praising Jeff Bezos, but this was a very pretty salad bar. Everything was clean. Everything looked good. They had hot food that looked awesome. They had everything. Oh yeah, Gelson's had no labels on anything. So there was like something that I didn't know whether it was tofu or cheese, because it looked like could it be either? But Whole Foods, very good. So, and even though the price, I'm sure you guys have all experienced when you load up that thing and then they weigh it and you're like, whoa, I'm paying that for that. It's a little more than you want to spend. I got to say they were doing it right, at least at the Whole Foods that I went to.
Did you get anything to eat?
I not at Gelson's. I got a small salad at Whole Foods with a little bit of hot food on the side.
That's interesting, because I was going to say that I think the Whole Foods salad bar has gone downhill since Amazon acquired the company.
I agree. But Gelson's was way worse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, I've got a list of some other stores that do have some salad bars. And, when I was saying that there's not a salad bar in the high desert in the Joshua Tree area, we are a pretty rural area. And just based on, I don't know if I went into this research having this opinion, but I came out of the research with the opinion that having a salad bar, at least in 2025, is maybe the marker of a higher end grocery store. Right. Like, that is, if it's fancy, if it's a Whole Foods, if it's a Gelson's. If you don't know Gelson's, it's a LA chain of pretty fancy, pretty expensive grocery stores. And if that's the kind of place that is still maintaining their salad bars at this point, is it a mark of quality or a mark of at least supposed quality?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do think it's a higher end grocery store thing. I grew up when they were pretty ubiquitous. I think pretty much any grocery store had a salad bar, but so did Wendy's, and so did like Rax.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of research about that. I don't know when you want to get into.
Let's do it. Let's dig in.
All right.
Scoop it up and weigh it and tell me that it cost me $25 for the amount that we're about to do.
How much are they charging now per pound at Whole Foods?
It's $11.99 per pound for both of them. And I found an article, 1994, where it was $2.99, and if you adjust that for inflation, that was about $8. So we have beat inflation in terms of salad bar prices for right
now. Go
us. Yeah. Everybody credits salad bar. Jeff, I'm sure you've got a lot of this research. I don't know how fast I should speed through the beginning part.
We got time, but tell us the origin of the salad bar.
It pretty much came from steakhouses, and there were a number of steakhouses. There's a lot of places, like all of the stuff that we cover here, there's a lot of places that claim to be the first. But there's a few steakhouses that claim to be the first, and basically it was just like you're saying, it was seen as a mark of luxury. It was also seen as sort of a European thing, because it was sort of like I forget the name of it right now, but like a Swedish breakfast where everything's sort of laid out in front of you. Smorgasbord. That's exactly it. So it was a European elegance sort of brought over with fresh ingredients, and you could have a salad and you could have a steak, and people loved it. And that's really where it started. And then from there, it sort of exploded for a variety of reasons. We keep coming back to some similar themes in this podcast. And And some of them are positive and a lot of them are kind of negative. So in this case, it's two forces that sort of took over. We're talking US right now, but the one is that more women were in the workplace and they were not at home cooking as much. So just broadly, and we're talking 70s and early 80s is really when the era that we're talking about. So broadly, more and more, just sort of buying pre-prepared food in general just became really, really popular. And there became kind of an arms race between the grocery stores and then some of the, restaurants basically to try to get this market. And this is when the grocery stores really started to ramp up their pre-made food, including the salad bar and including the salad. The other kind of negative or very negative force was diet culture, which was the similar target demographic. So it was the idea of sort of low fat, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig sort of a thing. You'd have a salad, it wouldn't be that many calories, and that would be your dinner essentially. So these two combining sort of negative capitalist forces came to us in the late 70s, early 80s, and really created the salad bar craze in the early 80s that I think we all grew up with.
Mm-hmm. I got to ask, and like my salad consumption has skyrocketed in the last few weeks, last few year, I guess. Like just eating a lot more salads. Working in an office again I was eating very unhealthily for the first few years working in an office, and I'm like, how do I combat this? I'm going to start doing salads. Question one for the both of you. Do we still think that salads are inherently healthy?
So I think they are healthy from the aspect of, I see it as a way to get a lot of my vegetables. Mm-hmm. Like it's a dense vegetable meal. So I think of it healthy in that way. I don't necessarily think of a salad as a diet food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Vegetables are, every study you could read about vegetables are good for you in terms of vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that. I'm also just a big proponent of fiber. I'll probably talk about this every podcast we do. I think fiber is good for you. Again, every study you read, eating a lot of fiber is good for you, and it balances out every other crappy thing that you eat. So I think salad is a good way of getting that in your diet, and then you can eat other stuff and it kind of levels out to some degree.
Yeah. You know what else is good for that? A bean club.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super good.
I guess the part two to my question is, do we think that like the salad bar is healthy? Like you're given a lot of options and you can come out of the salad bar with kind of that healthier thing. You could just get like some arugula and some mescaline and like, some tomatoes or whatever. But I think when people go to the salad bar, there's like so much fun stuff. They're just loading up their salads with all the junk. And does it remain healthy? Is it kind of a tricky thing? Where are we landing on that?
Yeah. So that, to me, when I go to a salad bar, I am lured in by all the like things that I don't have at home. The fancy like prepared foods and all sorts of like toppings that I don't have. So yes, it does lure me in for that. But I also get gun shy when I'm at the salad bar and I realize, oh, those things are heavy. Like I can't pay for that. So then I just end up buying lettuce, which is ridiculous.
That's the good stuff there for you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be loading up on like mozzarella balls and fusilli pasta drenched in vinaigrette.
No, but the whole reason I go to the salad bar is to get the fun stuff. And then I don't because it's too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a lot to be said for pre-cut stuff that you don't need to wash and you don't need to peel or whatever, and you don't need to slice. That can, those steps right there can really slow down a meal. So having it all just there in front of you, I don't know, that's nice. It feels fun.
Do you know I'm spending so much of my time? I do a morning radio show and I am up at 4:30 in the morning every morning. And I'm making these salads and bringing them in. My partner goes to the Joshua Tree Farmers Market and gets me the salad stuff. And I wake up and I put my clothes on and I do a bunch of emails, and then I'm sitting in my kitchen at 5:15 and I'm running late and I'm massaging my kale and tearing it up into tiny little pieces, and then I get my little sugar snap peas and I'm just cutting the ends off of them and slicing them very thin. So I'm spending a lot of time doing vegetable cutting at an ungodly hour, I'll say that. And maybe I would love to, just if I could get the exact same stuff at a salad bar down the road, that might save me a little bit of time, probably cost me a bit more money.
Yeah. Do you ever do a breakfast salad? Because I feel like that's a good way to get my vegetables in so that the rest of the day I can just kind of coast.
My partner is obsessed with brunch salads.
Oh, okay.
So she'll buy frisee and do kind of a poached egg, or even just like a lightly dressed thing with like maybe a little lardon or bacon is more likely what we're going to have on hand. But yes, you're a fan?
I'm a big fan of breakfast salads.
Do you ever hit the salad? Like, the salad bar is not open for breakfast usually at the grocery store.
No. And in fact, I love a salad bar out of nostalgia, but I don't, like you said, there aren't salad bars up here.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I went to a salad bar was when I was working in an office in the low desert, and it was just very convenient for me to go and grab something.
Adam, how often are you hitting the salad bar at the grocery store these days?
I mean, never really. I mean, I did it yesterday just because we're doing this, but I don't remember the last time. There used to be a unfortunately named restaurant called Soup Plantation that I really enjoyed, but those all closed, so I don't remember. And then there's the Sizzler in Koreatown that I went to, but that's about it.
They've opened up a copycat of, I believe Soup Plantation changed its name to the Red Tomato, because yes, it's a very, very unfortunately named soup and salad all-you-can-eat chain. But in Rancho Cucamonga in like San Bernardino County, I think they've opened a second Soup Plantation knockoff that people are obsessed with. Everybody's like waiting in long lines to get into this place. So if you're looking for salad bar and that all-you-can-eat soup concept, that's the place for you, I'd say.
See, I never liked their salads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unfortunate name aside, for some reason, their salad bar always tasted off to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I will happily go to like one of those salad places where they chop it all up in a bowl and give you like a messy, box of salad.
Is that a sweet green? Is that
sweet greens? Or there's like a chopped. Is that maybe what one is called?
Definitely. Yeah. I think without the E, maybe.
Yeah.
But
stylized, like.
Yeah. Sometimes they shake it. I like when they shake it. That always impresses me.
And not to jump ahead to the not quite death of the grocery store salad bar and the salad bar in general, but a lot of grocery store owners and like salad bar people are saying that your chopped concept is kind of taking over for what people used to go to the Whole Foods and assemble their own salads at the office job.
Right.
Now people are just going to your chopped, your sweet greens, and getting the already curated salad.
Yes.
You're not in charge of making your own salad. They'll just, I mean, actually, I don't know. I've never been to one. Do they let you make your own salad? Do you tell them what to put in it?
You can tell them what to put in it. It's like a Chipotle kind of, but with a messy salad.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah. I mean,
it's good.
Yeah. There is something to watching them like chop it all up and then shake it. You're right, Adam.
When did we really it was in the 80s and part of the outgrowth of the salad bar at the restaurant at the steakhouse was also part of the growing supermarket industry. I have that right?
Yes. Well, yes, but also Wendy's and Burger King and Sizzler and Pizza Hut, they all opened salad bars, and that was just the thing that everybody almost began to expect. Like, oh, well, there's got to be a salad bar there. So it was, and then the grocery stores as well. So it was this sort of this catch-all where everybody was trying to get the exact same group of diners, and it was everywhere. I don't know if I want to show them. There's some unfortunate commercials that I could show from that era, but very, very gendered. Some of them are very diet culture, body shaming sort of ways. And then one of them I just kind of like because it's got a fun jingle. But anyway. Yeah.
I can imagine that there's some pretty heinous advertisements.
Oh, yeah.
Jokes made at some people's expense regarding the salad bar.
Yeah.
So, and I have a bit of salad bar, especially grocery store salad bar tech that's on the horizon.
Oh, is it that company from Europe that has like I forget what it's called. They have like very special high-tech salad bars that like gauge how quickly the food is being is I don't know, being purchased.
Yes.
And
is it Piccadilly?
Yes.
Piccadilly.
Okay. Yes.
What do we know about Piccadilly, Adam?
I just read basically that. I didn't do much research.
I didn't dig too deep into them. I see AI and food and huge red flags for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I mean, yeah. Sorry.
I don't know if this turned up in your research, but one of the articles that I was reading about that company, someone asked the CEO or whomever, asked the guy from the company, like, well, will salad bars be popular? Like, what about the pandemic? What about people getting sick from salad bars? And it was basically like his philosophy was like the guns don't kill people, people kill people. It was like salad bars don't make people sick, people make people sick, which I thought was so funny.
Which is not really true. It's
No.
you know, it's bacteria from
Right.
Anyway. Yeah. So I found the article that I read about it, which actually is pretty good. It's also in Supermarket News, one of our favorite resources. The title is "Salad Bar Bandits, You're on Notice."
I've got that one right here.
You got it. There you go.
Yes.
Piccadilly partners with Digimarc to nab health-conscious fraudsters. Which is another theme that keeps coming up in this podcast, which is the grocery stores both want us to do the labor of whatever it might be, but also they don't want to deal with the theft and the shrinkage. So they're always trying to balance this and find the perfect combination where regular people can do the work, they can hire less people, and people won't steal. So that's where the AI, I guess, is fitting in. Jef, do you want to read?
I mean, I really tried to understand how it's going to prevent theft, but they're saying like it's got something like it's a weight-based variable product code embedded throughout the packaging to trigger overrides when shoppers attempt to ring up product with false codes. I don't know what that means.
I can't imagine there's that much salad bar theft. And you know what? I don't care. Like, that's one of those things where I feel like, you know what? If you can get away with a little salad bar theft, good on you.
I have this. I wanted to ask everybody, pitch this to y'all. What's the appropriate level to like steal? And when I say steal, I'm talking about I've got 6 olives on my salad, and I'm going to eat 2 of them before I go get a wing. Like, what's the count on what's? You can't just eat the salad at the salad bar and then refill it, you know?
Right.
But like, what's the acceptable, polite in quotes, amount of theft allowed at the salad bar?
I don't even consider that theft. I feel like that's a sample. They give that to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever you can get away with for me is the right amount. And actually, yes. So right now, I keep reading about the Piccadilly. It still doesn't make sense about salad bar. This might just be a way that they're getting a bunch of funding because they have AI in the title. But yesterday, in terms of polite, let's say, skirting of the rules, yesterday I did ring up organic peaches as regular peaches at the Jeff Bezos Emporium. So maybe that's something that Piccadilly, because it says they find if people ring it up with the wrong PLU. So maybe that's what they're trying to catch.
You know, if you keep stealing peaches from Jeff Bezos, he's only going to be able to send Katy Perry to outer space for 2 hours instead of 3 hours. He's not going to be able to get the full 3 hours out of her. So
that's a good point.
I am absolutely fine with stealing from him.
So peaches, it's okay to steal. Mozzarellas, olives, mostly okay to pick out of that on the bowl.
Yeah, I'm okay with all of it.
Did they have anybody monitoring the salad bar when you were there yesterday, Adam?
No.
Okay, so it was a free-for-all.
Yeah. It was a free for all. And I definitely have sampled some of those fancy olives. I love those fancy olives, and I would never buy them for myself, but I would try one.
Okay.
So I definitely have sampled those before.
You know what? I love the little peppadew peppers. And that is something that I don't buy for my own kitchen. I only get them on a salad bar.
Which peppers are those?
They're like the sweet, almost they're like red peppadew. I don't know how to describe them. They're sweeter than most peppers, but there is a little bit of spice to it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, I mean, if y'all are up for it, we can do the full breakdown on how you're constructing a salad at a grocery store salad bar. But just very quickly, let's just start it off. What's the number one thing that you're getting at a grocery store salad bar?
Lettuce.
I mean, yes, lettuce. But like, what's the thing that you're not, like a peccadillo pepper, you're not getting that for home? Like, what's the thing that you're at that grocery store salad bar and you see that and you're like, ooh, I got to get that?
So I think it depends on the salad bar and how it looks that particular day. But there are some things that are high value on a salad bar. Like, it is expensive to buy a bag of pine nuts. But if you get pine nuts on the salad bar, it's cheaper than, like, the per pound rate on the salad bar is cheaper than buying an actual bag. So I will generally get something like that. I also really like marinated mushrooms, even though they're heavy and always cause me to spend more than I'd like on a salad.
It's like a little vinegar sponge, those marinated.
I love them.
They're just soaking it all up on there.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I like, the pine nuts. That's a great one because that, when else are you going to get pine nuts like that? But yeah, I like the olives. I like the chickpeas. I'll usually put on there. I never put those on salad at home, even though I could. I do, I don't know, other kind of weird, like shredded cabbage and stuff like that. It's just sort of like the convenience of having a little bit of an ingredient. That's what I really like. So I just do a lot of little things on there.
I think what I'm hearing from y'all, it's like stuff that you wouldn't maybe put on the salad at home. Like, I think when I think of like the special thing that I'm getting in like a salad, whether I'm getting it from a restaurant or a grocery store salad bar, something we never ever do at home. And we eat a lot of salad at home. My partner makes fabulous salads. We never put like pasta in the salad.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that feels to me like a big indulgence. Like, you're certainly negating some of the health benefits of the salad if you're throwing a bunch of noodles in there.
What kind of noodles are you throwing in there?
Like, kind of a dressed fusilli. It's been a while since I've been to a salad bar, but like, we've mentioned this on the podcast before, but we have a friend who works for a chain of restaurants called California Chicken Cafe in Los Angeles. And they have like those little corkscrew pastas that are a little dressed a little differently from the rest of the salad. And they're just kind of like mixed in like a crouton or something. That feels very special salad to me. And like, again, that's a heavy thing. That's going to add weight when I'm getting up there to put it on the scale, but I do dig it.
I feel the same way about a vinegar-based potato salad. If I see that on a salad bar, I can't deny myself a potato. I will always choose the potato.
Now, you're not mixing it in with the lettuce and stuff. You're putting it on the side of the tray?
On the side.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the other favorites that are just going to go on the side? Like a potato salad's going to go on the side. I'm trying to think, like, sometimes you get like a little slaw, like you just want a little side of slaw with your salad. Like, any other side favorites that don't quite go into the salad?
They do like those broccoli slaws. Those are pretty good.
Yeah,
I never do that at home. I never would, but those are good when somebody else makes it for you.
And what's everybody's most hated salad bar thing?
I think like a sweet slaw. I'm not crazy about those. If it has like a poppy seed dressing, I'm not into that.
Okay.
You know, sometimes those broccoli salads will have like craisins in it or something, and I'm like, oh no,
I don't know why I do that. Why do that? Or like little apple or something like that. I usually don't like. They go overboard with the sweet in some of those ones.
Yeah.
Is fruit becoming a big miss on the salad bar? We're kind of veggie focused here.
Sometimes if you do it right, it can work, but a lot of times, in my opinion, it just tastes closer to a fruit salad than a regular salad.
I think I'm always gonna miss the egg. Like I like a hard boiled egg in a salad in certain contexts, and a lot of my favorite salad dressings have egg in them. Your Caesars, for example, that's the one that comes to mind immediately. But I ain't gonna get a hard boiled egg and throw it on my salad. That's probably not for me on there.
Well, and on salad bars, they tend to look so dry.
Yeah, it's not the good eggs; it's the bad ones.
Yeah.
So, and I was gonna do. I don't know if we want to get into the. I don't know if we want to get into the how y'all are constructing your salads. Is that too complicated of a topic?
That might be too complicated.
Okay.
One thing I was wondering is, do you remember your first salad bar? Or like, do you have a remarkable salad bar experience?
We're talking about Soup Plantation. I think there was another knockoff where I grew up in Long Beach called Soup Exchange. I don't know how big of a chain that was, but it's the exact same. I couldn't tell the difference between the Soup Exchange and the Soup Plantation. I remember early days of going there, I would get no salad. You have to, if you remember the format of that restaurant, you walk in and you get in line for the salad bar, and then you pay, and then you have access to the hot foods after that. So my mom would say, you must get a salad. And so I would probably get a few pieces of romaine and covered in ranch dressing or whatever. And then I'd just go to town on the soups and things like that.
Yeah.
But after a few times, or maybe I just got a little older, I couldn't even believe that you could just have all of those options. And I was like, you could do all of this stuff on the salad. And I'd go to town, and I made some really ruined salads. I'm not a good editor when it comes to food, especially at a young age. So I would that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. And then it would taste bad. And I had made myself just one of the wackest salads you ever saw.
Right.
Well, that's how you learn. How else are you going to know? It's like falling off a bike, you got to do it a few times, and then you'll get it right.
What about you, Adam?
So out here, again, Soup Plantation, this is probably the late 80s, early 90s. We would go to one in Marina del Rey with my grandparents, and I was a child, and that was probably the first salad bar that I can remember going to. I remember it pretty vividly, and I don't think I even really enjoyed the salad at that point. I think I got the baked potato and soup and stuff like that, but I did do it, and I remember really vividly participating in the making of the salad. Yeah.
Do you remember it being good or bad?
I don't really think I really liked salad at that age, but I remember the process. I think I just probably poked around at it and then ate some soup and then got a brownie or something. But it was interesting thing that was going on in front of me.
What about you, Maggie?
So I vividly remember my very first Whole Foods salad bar.
Wow.
And it's because, so I grew up in Ohio. I went to school, college in Ohio. And then my first job out of college was at a small newspaper in Appalachian, Ohio. My friend Gretchen from college went out to live in LA, and she worked for some big producer whose name I don't even remember. I guess he wasn't too big, but so she was automatically cooler than me. And when I went to go visit her in LA for the first time, she brought me to a Whole Foods, and it was my first time going into a Whole Foods.
Do you remember which Whole Foods it was?
I don't remember. Okay. I was racking my brain trying to think of it, and I can't remember. But it felt so abundant, and everyone was really beautiful, and it was California, so it was automatically cool. And when we went to the salad bar, because this was Gretchen's lunch hour from the studio, so we had to grab something, and then she would take me back to her office. The salad bar, everything seemed so healthy and interesting. And I remember thinking oh, this is what Californians eat. And I got tuna salad or something that I put on top of lettuce, but it was really good tuna salad. It wasn't like the kind we had in Ohio. It had fresh dill. Mm-hmm. and I just thought it was so amazing. And that to me was so aspirational. I want to be able to go into a Whole Foods and dine from the salad bar.
It did feel like when they opened up a Whole Foods when my partner lived in downtown LA, that was my first opportunity to really go to Whole Foods a lot. When we lived in New York City, I moved in with Adam in Brooklyn in 2006. And I think they had just opened the first Whole Foods at Union Square on like 14th Street in Brooklyn. And that was, for me, I couldn't afford to be shopping at the Whole Foods and I wasn't getting those salads. But for me, that was the closest approximation New York had to a California style grocery store in the sense of the scale and like what was available. A topic for another show, but New York City grocery stores, when I moved to New York City, that was a bit of a culture shock for me. But it wasn't until many years later where I even thought about going to the salad bar where I could afford to think about going to the salad bar. Remember, the first Whole Foods salad bar I went to was the downtown LA one. And we've mentioned it on the show already, but that shock where you get to the counter and you're like, I'm paying like $10 for like 3 things. This doesn't feel like a good deal.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm getting away with anything at the salad bar.
So everyone's going to throw stuff at me when I say this, but post Bezos, the closest thing to that LA Whole Foods experience is Erewhon. And in terms of like freshness and in terms of it being a hip place where people are there to be seen, like that's what it is right now. And the salads are pretty good. I'm sorry to say. Very expensive.
We all have our issues with Erewhon, and we'll get to that in an episode, I'm sure. But my partner has been bringing the kale chips home from Erewhon, and they are outrageously expensive and the best kale chips I've ever had. Like, it's out of control how good these kale chips are. And I'm like, I guess you're getting what you pay for. I'm sure it's still overpriced, but it's a pretty goddamn good kale chip.
Don't the Erewhon people have a home out here?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think they live in Pioneer Town.
Oh, and sounds like the place for them.
So I feel like maybe, I don't know, you'd think they would bring some of that goodness up here. Like,
do you think we're going to get an Erewhon in Pioneer Town or Yucca Valley?
Maybe a
Palm Springs. I could see
Yeah.
one in Palm Springs. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see one in Palm Springs.
Are we trusting anybody else to make the salad at the salad bar for us? Like, are you going to send your husband and tell him what to get at the salad bar?
No.
Okay.
Only if he's like FaceTiming me the whole time and I can tell him exactly what to put on it. But I also feel like that's something like I want to see what's fresh and what looks good and what's, I like subpar.
What about you, Adam?
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't trust a soul. I mean, I don't even love when Sweet Green does it. I would prefer to be doing the ratios myself, but they're professionals. I gotta let them do it. But if I had my way, I would be able to scoop the perfect amount.
I guess I'm going to be in the minority here because my partner and I make each other salads all the time. She's a salad savant. She knows exactly what she's doing with salads in the kitchen. I feel confident that if I gave her like a vague direction, if I said, think Italian chopped, she would come back with something that would delight and amuse me. So
it seems like that should be a position. Like there should be a salad sommelier who does this for people, like figures out the ratios.
Maybe at Erewhon.
Those salads are good. But before we wrap up, we got to talk a little bit about the current state of salad. And that is, we got to get a little political. That is that the FDA has been severely underfunded over the past year. And foodborne illnesses in bagged and pre-chopped lettuce are been basically exploding to the point that some food scientists are saying, just don't buy pre-cut lettuce or pre-bagged salad in any way, which basically is most salad bars because they just dump it out of a bag usually. Because
there's not a guy in the back cutting up the head of iceberg over there.
Yeah. Unless you're at Erewhon. So because and the actual scientific way is that if it's one head of lettuce that is infected, then it's one head of lettuce that's infected. But if it's one head of lettuce that's chopped up and mixed with like 30 other ones, then all of them basically. And so that's why the bagged lettuce more or less is a little bit of a crapshoot, which I just ate tonight for the record.
Yeah, but that's like the ground beef of lettuce. Like it's like I really just grind my own beef now because I don't want 40,000 cows in my hamburger. I just would like one hamburger or one cow, please. So one head of lettuce. Like I guess this might spell the another death knell for salad bars.
I don't know if you watched the documentary Wild Wild Country about the Rajneeshi cult.
I have not seen it, but I'm aware of it. Yes.
I didn't realize that they intentionally put salmonella on salad bars to poison people in the community where they lived.
Really?
Because
why?
Some of the Rajneeshis were running for like city positions and they wanted fewer voters to turn out for the election.
Oh my gosh.
So they intentionally put salmonella on the salad bars just to keep people home.
If I wanted to get salmonella, like, do I mail order that? Send in camel.
That is
coupons?
exactly the question I had. Like, where do you get salmonella? Like, do you make it? Like, what is it?
Just leave some eggs in a bucket for a while.
So there's always the chance that someone from a cult might be infecting your salad bar as well. So just want to throw that out there. But that's a reason why not the Rajneeshis, but the fact that the FDA has been severely defunded. That's a big reason why I started planting my own lettuce, because I thought this is easy to grow. I can grow it in a pot and I'll always have fresh lettuce that I know where it came from.
Mm-hmm. I have a very quick game for everybody. When did Gelson's reopen their salad bars after the pandemic hit? Month, year? Do y'all have a guess?
I'm going April 21.
Okay, Adam?
I'm going to go much later. I'm going to say February 23.
Okay. Maggie, you're pretty close. July 2021.
Oh, okay.
So
that still feels pretty soon.
I thought so too. I was really surprised by that, to be honest.
There was a Delta variant at that time. So
I think that's when I got COVID, was like June 2021. Yeah. So Gelson's rushing back in with the salad bars.
That is when I got COVID, actually.
Well, I think we can wrap it up. Maggie, I did want to say I hope it's all right to announce this on the show. It's nothing bad. I even ran this by my partner. I'm like, is this something I could say to Maggie? Is this going to be okay? But you were one of our first guests on the show, Clean Up on Aisle podcast, and I'm very happy to have you. I think you're a fabulous guest, fabulous writer, but you were made my previous venture an enormous success.
Oh.
I used to run a hot dog pop-up out of my yard, and it was doing pretty good. And then you came in, you kind of blew it up. Everybody that came said, well, I heard about this from Maggie.
Oh, I love that.
So I was telling my partner, I'm like, I think Maggie's my business good luck charm. We got to get Maggie in the mix here as soon as possible.
Oh, I love that.
You bring incredible, you're like my little cat statue that they have at the market.
Yes, I'll just stand here.
But thank you for joining us. This was really fun to talk with you. Thank you for helping me be successful at hot dogs.
Oh, you're welcome. Your hot dog venture was amazing.
Killed by the pandemic. I didn't really come back as soon as Gelson's did on that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me here. This was so fun. And I had no idea I had so many salad bar opinions.
If people want more of you, where can they find you? Give a shout out to your book. You've got a kid's book out?
I have a memoir called Braver Than You Think. I have a book for families with young children, and that's called 50 Things to Do Before You're 5. And I just launched a Substack called Be Back by Dinner. And it's focused on travel and having more curiosity-led travel. Do you remember when your parents would send you out of the house on a summer day and say, be back by dinner? Like that kind of thing, that feeling of freedom and exploration. So it's more about travel led by wonder.
All right. That sounds fantastic.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Clean Up on Aisle podcast for me and for Adam. Thanks for listening.
Bye.